Hey guys, welcome back to another sports stuff video. Today, we're talking about the NFC South and their divisional draft. So if you guys do enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when I post next. You know, I'm going, finally, go on to the NFC South, AFC South after this, and then it's just the NFC and AFC North. We're almost done with about 2 weeks. I believe it's exactly 14 days until the NFL draft, so I should be able to get out all of my rankings per position, and that's what I'm excited about. So if you do enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Again, April 27th, I am going live for the NFL draft, the first, second, and third rounds. I will be streaming day 1 and day 2, maybe day 3 depending on how good it goes, but day 1 and 2 100% going to happen. For the third year in a row, I'll be doing that. So if you do want to join, it'd be much appreciated. Let's get into this video. There we go. So, starting out with the Carolina Panthers at number 1 overall. I have a very big idea that I think the Carolina Panthers are sold on CJ Stroud. Now, I 100% could see Bryce Young going number 1, and I would not be shocked at all. But if I am the Panthers, I think CJ Stroud is a better fit for my team. I think he's better behind pocket presence. I think he's a better quarterback when he's protected. And you've built a really good offensive line. I think his floor is just as good as Bryce Young. And I think given the right situation, he might have a higher ceiling. Bryce Young is good, but I think CJ Stroud is just as good, if not better. I still have Bryce Young number 1 in my class because if he hits, he's going to be a stud. But I think CJ Stroud is a more guaranteed pick in my mind. So I'm going to go with him at number 1 overall. Then at number 39, I'm adding the wide receiver, Jalen Hyatt, to my wide receiver core. You now have Adam Thielen, DJ Shark, Jalen Hyatt, and Terrace Marshall Jr. That's a really solid 4 wide receivers, and after those guys, you don't really have anybody. So as you can see, I do draft another wide receiver later down in the draft. But I think Jalen Hyatt provides that deep threat ability long term. DJ Shark is definitely a deep threat ability, but he's only on a 1-year deal. Jalen Hyatt is a 4-year deal. I think he can develop into something a lot more than just a go route speed runner. I think he can develop into a really good wide receiver number two. Excuse me. Next up, we have Isaiah McGuire. Isaiah McGuire out of Miz. Man, he had an outstanding season in my opinion. Really good run defender, really good pass rusher, and I think playing on that defensive line at defensive end in that It's a 3-4 pass. 3-4. Scheme. I think Isaiah McGuire can play the inside defensive end, which I believe is not the 3 tech. Is that the 4I or something? I can't remember the name. But it's the defensive end position, not the outside linebacker position. It's the interior of the defensive line, but not D tackle or nose tackle. I can't remember the name of that position. But I think Isaiah McGuire can easily play that position. I think that's what he's built for. He's got the size, he's got the frame, and I think he's got the talent to play next to Derek Brown. And my guy who will be playing nose tackle, nose tackle Carl Brooks. I think Carl Brooks is the prototypical 3 technique. I think out of Bowling Green had an amazing A+ season out of Bowling Green, and the Panthers can get both Isaiah McGuire and Carl Brooks next to Derek Brown already with their Brian Burns and get toward Gross Matos pass rush. That's a really good 5-man starting lineup, and I think that just makes all your current defensive guys. You have an okay starter group. If you can get Isaiah McGuire and Carl Brooks as your new starters, your now okay starters are very solid backups. And I think that can provide a lot of help to this Carolina defense, the Carolina Panthers defense under Ejiro Evero. And moving on, we have Nick Saldiveri. I think he's a solid tackle prospect. I wouldn't be surprised if he's just a backup his entire career, maybe a swing tackle. But out of Old Dominion, I like his size, I like his frame, and I think he can provide a lot of solid depth to the offensive line. You got Tyler Moton, you got Ike Ekwonu, you hit on those 2 picks. They're going to be there for the next 3, 5, 7 years, however long Ike wants to stay and however long Taylor Moton wants to keep playing at his current level. Nick Saldiveri is an interesting developmental pick, but I think at worst, he's just a really solid backup. Charlie Jones out of Purdue. Again, I want to add as many deep route speedsters as I can, because in today's NFL, if you have a bunch of speedsters, you got an offense. I think Charlie Jones has a very solid speed. I believe he was top 15 or top 20 in college football with catches out of the slot. So I think it provides a lot of depth, a lot of valuable depth as well to the Carolina Panthers. They gave me an A- for this draft. I kind of agree. I'm a little higher on the Jalen Hyatt pick than they seem to be. And I'm obviously very high on Isaiah McGuire and Carl Brooks. They're in almost every one of my mock drafts. But yeah, A-, I can live with that. Moving on, we have the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Atlanta Falcons in this mock draft, number 1 was CJ Stroud. Number 2 was Bryce Young. Number 3, I believe, was Will Anderson Jr. Number 4 was Will Levis. So at number 5, I'm like, okay, the Seattle Seahawks, do they take Anthony Richardson? If they take Anthony Richardson, we sit at 8. We don't trade up. If they take who they did take, they took Tyree Wilson. I said, let's do it. Trade up to number 6 as the Atlanta Falcons. Get a better Desmond Ridder. You trade up 2 spots. You trade a first and 2/3 to move up, which I think is an amazing draft swappage. The Detroit Lions slide back 2 picks, get 2 extra third-round picks. And I think this adds to their arsenal of draft picks as well. And you get your franchise quarterback, Anthony Richardson. I think the Lions are very high on Jared Goff, at least for 1 or 2 more years. And if they continue to add draft capital, they can trade up next season for Drake May or Caleb Williams. So say, hey, if you don't like Anthony Richardson as the 4th best quarterback in your opinion, we think he's number 2 or 3. Let's trade up and grab him. And I think the Lions trade back and get extra 2 third-round picks for free. You trade up and get Anthony Richardson. I think that's really good for you. You get your franchise quarterback. Now, yes, it's not the best spot because I think Anthony Richardson should go somewhere where he can sit for a year. But, I mean, it is what it is. I think Anthony Richardson definitely has the tools to develop, and I think it'd be very interesting to see what he can do with the Atlanta Falcons and Arthur Smith as its head coach and offensive coordinator. Next up is Nathaniel Dell. The Atlanta Falcons, in my opinion, don't have that good of a wide receiver core, and getting a Nathaniel Dell just adds some, valuable playing time to this wide receiver core. Out of Houston, going to Georgia, I think he's a movable weapon, can be your wide receiver 2 or 3, be a slot guy, but I think he provides very good depth and upside at the position. In the 4th round, I grabbed Riley Moss out of Iowa, who had a stellar season. In fact, I actually want to go to his stats, because I'm very impressed with how good his season was. Let me just come over here. I just want to get the exact number of what he got. Let me go to Riley Moss. There he is. So, Riley Moss, this season, had 800 snaps at outside corner, which I think is exactly what you want in a cornerback out of college. He's 6'1", 193. He averaged over an 80 overall PFF grade almost his entirety of his career. Really good coverage grade, only allowed 47% completion percentage, and again, has been primary boundary. You got Casey Hayward, who I think Riley Moss could fight for that starting position. But if Riley Moss sits behind Casey Hayward for a season, that's not the worst thing in the world. But in the 4th round, again, a guy that I think could start is ideal. And another guy in the 4th round I think that could start is Jose Ramirez. This is a guy that's flying up draft boards at Eastern Michigan. Last season, he had the highest pressure rate in college football. This season went down a little bit, but still a really solid season. He's giving me a good pass rusher. You got Lorenzo Carter, and you also got who's the other pass rusher? Arnold Ebiketie. I think Jose Ramirez can be that 3rd pass rusher at outside linebacker. He's definitely a 3-4 outside linebacker. Jose Ramirez can be a really good number 3 with right there. Might even beat out Lorenzo Carter, who I think he can definitely beat out. But I mean, again, in the 4th round, getting someone that can actually start for you is really good. In the 5th round, I grabbed Cam Jones, who in my opinion is a very solid 1st and second down linebacker, really good against the run, and a really good special teamers. So you get a core special team ace, and on top of that, someone who can really defend the run at a high ability. I believe he led college football in run defense grade on PFF. Again, I don't solely base my grades off of PFF, but I like to use it to navigate around the good guys and the bad guys. And speaking of good guys and bad guys, I grabbed Nico Remigio out of Fresno State. The Fresno State Bulldog. I actually thought Nico Remigio had a really solid season. For a 7th round pick, getting a guy who was top 25 in slot catches, top 25 in slot yards, and against man coverage had almost an 80 grade. That's someone in the 7th round I'm willing to take a flyer on. You got this wide receiver core of 5 guys, basically. You add Nathaniel Dell, you add Nico Remigio, who both do a little bit separate things. And I think that could be really good for your wide receiver core. Muhammad Ibrahim, I've been really high out of him out of Minnesota. Muhammad has amazing tackle breaking ability. Guys bounce off of him. He is able to break tackles like none other. He led college football in yards after contact. That's insane to get in the 7th round. Him and Tyler Algier, both power backs, and I think they can both learn from each other, different abilities. And out of the 7th round, that's a flyer I'm willing to take. Same with Caleb Chandler. Definitely a backup. Don't think he'll be a starter. for the Atlanta Falcons, but to get him in the seventh round for basically nothing, a guy that I think could actually help you on depth. That's really good. Gives me an A. I completely agree. They're a little high on Nathaniel Dell. That was, more like a C pick. Not too bad, not too good. I'm high on the Riley Moss pick. I'm high on the Jose Ramirez. I'm high on the Cam Jones. I'm high on the Muhammad Ibrahim. And I agree that trade is 100% A plus for both teams. Moving on, we have the Buccaneers. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I attacked this a little bit different. In the first round, I trade number 19 overall for Mac Jones. Mac Jones is on his rookie contract, only 2 years in, so he has 3 years remaining on his rookie contract, and this is a team that's built to win now. They're built for a Tom Brady-esque quarterback. Mac Jones is a Tom Brady-esque quarterback. If he can develop with Byron Leftwich over the next 3 seasons, they might win another Super Bowl. I mean, the NFC South and the NFC as a whole is so weak, and Aaron Rodgers is about to leave the NFC. All you really have to worry about is the 49ers, the Eagles, and maybe the Lions, if they can develop how I think they can develop. But you don't really have any big competition in the NFC because the NFC South is weak. NFC North is weaker, not super weak, but it's a little stronger but weak still. The NFC East has the Eagles. I think the Cowboys could also make a run in the next couple of years. The NFC West obviously has the Seahawks, the 49ers, and the Rams. But I think that if the Buccaneers can get a Mac Jones type of quarterback to take over for Tom Brady, that is a formula for success. And I think with that trade, Mac Jones gets a fresh start. That it's already been rumored that he's on the trade block, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get their Tom Brady replacement in the Tom Brady replacement from the Patriots. Then in the second round, I grabbed Antonio Johnson. I think Antonio Johnson's actually a really solid safety, more of a nickel safety where he plays more of that nickel corner box safety. And I think Antonio Johnson's definitely worth it. Currently, you have Ryan Neal from Seattle, who just came off a really solid breakout season, but it's only a 1-year deal. Grab Antonio Johnson. If Ryan Neal doesn't work out for you, you got Antonio Johnson. He can play nickel. He can play that strong safety role, and I really think he can do it really good next to Antoine Winfield Jr. Next up, Chandler Zavala. You got to build this offensive line out better. We saw this year how bad it was when injuries started piling up. Grab Chandler Zavala. He probably beat out Luke Gitke. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Luke, your left guard, Chandler Zavala out of North Carolina State, probably beats him out day one. And that's awesome in the third round to get a starter guard who I think can actually beat out your current Luke Gitke guard. What college did he go to? Did he go to Florida? I think Luke might go on to Florida. But I think he can beat him out day one. Then Kobe Turner at D tackle. You got Vita Vea, obviously, as your star 3 tech. Kobe Turner, I think, could be really good next to him. I think he's definitely worth a 5th round pick. I think he's more of a 2nd or 3rd round pick. Get him in day 3, round 5, out of Wake Forest, high upside, and next to Vita Vea is going to look really good. And Juice Scruggs, again, I've been saying this, Juice Scruggs is my Nick Harris of this draft. A guy that I think you can draft in the round 5, 6, or 7, get him, sit him for a year or two under a really good center like Ryan Jensen. He's going to sit for a year or two until Ryan Jensen's ready to move on or retire. He comes in, he's going to start for you, he'll be really good. He's got the tools, he's got the building blocks. Now, we just got to watch this really good offensive coordinator and development team build him into what I think he can be. In the 5th round to the Buccaneers, I trust them. Ventrell Miller, Devin White currently requested for a trade, so maybe I should have prioritized linebacker a little bit more. But I think they have a competent linebacker room even without Devin White. Ventrell Miller can kind of step in and help alleviate some of that, but definitely not be the answer. Then Trey Dean, who I think actually has a higher chance of being the answer, is going to be a linebacker convert. I think Trey Dean is going to be a linebacker in the NFL, kind of like Hamza Nasruddin, kind of like the Raiders. I always reference his name. I always Divine Diablo as well. Divine Diablo, Hamza Nasruddin, Trey Dean. Those would be the 3 safety to linebacker converts. I think he's gonna be better as a linebacker. He's got the size and the frame. Doesn't have the coverage ability as of a safety, but of a linebacker, he's got it. And it's gonna be a really good mismatch to where he's gonna be really athletic. Can jump, has really long arms. He's gonna be able to really help out with that run defense as well. I think Trey Dean's gonna be a linebacker in the NFL, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can use a linebacker help. Will Mallory out of Miami. 6th round pick, nothing too bad. Definitely worth a talk of Will Mallory. Let me go to his stats. In the 6th round, Will Mallory, Excuse me. Only had 2 drops, had a pretty decent receiving grade. 6'4", 239, has the building blocks to be a decent run blocker as well. In the 6th round, nothing too special. And Lou Nichols in the 7th. I think he can be another White. Is it Keyshawn White? No, it is not Keyshawn White. What is his name? Our lads. Tampa Bay. Their current Rashad White, right? Yep, Rashad White. I think Lou Nichols and Rashad White do a lot of the same things, and you don't have another running back on your roster that is like Rashad White, your current running back number 1. I think Lou Nichols out of Central Michigan can be that backup to Rashad White, who does the exact same thing, but at a lesser level. In the 7th round, that's really valuable. Gives me an A- grade for this draft. I like this draft way more than any of the other drafts before. I'd probably give this an A+. Really good. I like it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Finally, the last team of this draft is the New Orleans Saints. So the Saints actually have all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 8 picks in this draft, and I think I did a pretty decent job helping them out. So in round 1, I grabbed Mozzie Smith. They lost a lot of D tackles in free agency this year. I think they lost all of them. They also lost Marcus Davenport. They lost a lot of pass rushers, but they've been drafting pass rushers to help out with that eventual moving on from them. So I think Mozzie Smith comes in, fills in that Sheldon Rankins, that D tackle room. Oh my gosh, I know his name. Is it Shy Tuttle? Shy Tuttle, Sheldon Rankins, both of them left. I think Mozzie Smith can come in, start for them day 1. I think he's going to be a really good D tackle in that system next to Cam Jordan. Then Darnell Washington in the 2nd round. I understand they have Adam Troutman, but I think Darnell Washington's a better player and a better prospect. Also, he's a better receiver, better run blocker, taller, stronger. He's better than Adam Troutman. And I think Darnell Washington can help out Derek Carr, who loves tight ends, as we saw with the receiving. As we saw with the receiving tight end in oh my lord, why am I blanking on everyone's names? He got traded to the Giants. Oh my god, I'm gonna look this up. And I'm gonna see his name and say you suck. I'm gonna say Nick, how can you not remember this? New York Giants. Oh my gosh, why can't I remember his name? Why can't I remember his name? This is going to kill me. I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to be really mad. Darren Waller. I think he loves his receiving tight ends. Darnell Washington is one of the best receiving tight ends in this class, especially in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. And he's got the run blocking. He's got the national championship pedigree. I think Darnell Washington with the New Orleans Saints makes a lot of sense. Then in the 3rd round, Jalen Jones. Again, I'm higher on Jalen Jones than a lot of people are. Out of Texas A&M, he had a 71.5 grade, not the best. He's an outside corner. He's middle of the pack in everything, to be honest with you, but still not terrible. He was targeted only 19 times this past season, allowing 10 catches for 94 yards. So he only allowed 10 catches all season. Not bad. And I definitely think he's an outside corner. 6'2", 200. He's got the size and frame of a typical outside corner. I think he's got the coverage ability as well to, hold his own against these NFL receivers. Moving on to KJ Henry. Again, like I said, you lost Marcus Davenport. You lost different guys on that defensive line. Keep drafting guys to replace them. KJ Henry, he had an amazing pass rushing season, a 16% pass rush win rate, which was very good amongst college football. And he primarily played outside tackle. 53 pressures, really good. 6'4", 251. He also had 5 sacks on 34 hurries. Solid season. Again, 4th round, adding a KJ Henry. Not bad at all, and I think definitely helps with your pass rush. Then, these are some guys that I have been trying to, when I get later into the 5, 6, and 7, I want to start taking shots on guys. And I think Marte Mapu is going to be a really good run defender. 6'3", 216, and the Saints are in desperate need of more safety help. He earned an 85.8 run defense grade this past season with an 11% missed tackle rate, which is elite. But he had 14 coverage snaps at safety. He played slot, he played box, he played deep, he played pass rusher, 63 tackles last season. I am in love with Marte Mapu. I'm butchering his name, I know. Marte Mapu. I'm going to say Marte. Out of Sacramento State. Not one of the most well-known colleges, but I think as a prospect in the 5th round with a team that needs help at safety, I think that's going to be really good for them. I think they definitely give him more depth Then Dante Damas Jr., Hollywood. I've been following Dante actually for a really long time on Instagram. I don't really know if I should, be saying that. But, he had a really solid 2021. He's 6'3", 212 out of Maryland. Not terrible. Definitely not terrible. He played in 12 games, and he only racked up 233 yards. So he's definitely not, going to fly off these boards. He might even go undrafted. But I think Dante Demas has enough, I don't know how to say this. He has enough prospects to be interesting in the NFL. And the Saints, they like to take shots at wide receiver, whether it's UDFAs, day 3 guys. I think Dante Demas might get drafted in day 3. And I think round 5 is the highest he goes. And he might be undrafted, which is fine. But I think Dante Demas definitely has something to show in the NFL. Moving on, we got Charlie Thomas out of Georgia Tech. Another guy that I don't remember a whole lot that I did scouting-wise. Here it is. He had 92 tackles last season, which is obviously very good. 92 tackles is amazing. 6'3", 216. Really good pass rusher as well. He's tied for 4th at the linebacker position with 21 coverage stops. Definitely an inside linebacker who can pass rush. Valuable. Learn from Demario Davis. I love that. And Max Duggan, or Dugan, I don't really know how to pronounce it either. Max Duggan out of TCU. A flyer pick. Definitely, he's going to go undrafted, which is fine. Max is going to go undrafted. But I think at 257, he's worth maybe, a flyer. Get him on contract for at least 3 seasons. I think 7th round picks are 4-year contracts, but it might be 3 years. But Max Duggan, I don't know. I think it's Duggan. I think it's Max Duggan. But out of TCU, he's going to go undrafted, which is fine. But again, a flyer in the 7th round for a team that, desperately needs a backup quarterback that isn't Taysom Hill. It's not bad. But yeah, let me go back over. So my Panthers give me an A-. I think an A is more respectable, but whatever. Excuse me, I don't know why I keep swallowing so much. The Falcons give me an A. I completely agree. I think it's a great draft. I think Nathaniel Dell, I overdrafted a little bit, but it's whatever. I think I like the rest of it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, A-. I'd probably go up to an A+ for that draft. I thought that was one of the better drafts of today. And the Saints, I'd probably go down to a C+. It's not the worst. I like some of the picks, but I took a lot of shots in round 5 and on. But my first 4 picks I thought were solid. Took shots later on that may hit, may not. But if you guys do enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I post next. And again, next episode is the AFC South. So if you want to see that, let me know. Let me know. Hopefully I can get all these videos out and I can get my draft rankings. And then the NFL Draft on April 27th at 5 p.m. I'm going live. So if you guys can please come support. Even if it's just for a couple of picks, come watch me. Be greatly appreciated. But I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.